Hello, my beautiful collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Chai Leaves Tarot, where we get to your greatness one tea leaf at a time. All right, let's just jump right in and do an energy check. This is for all signs. Whatever energy you're feeling, love or career, pick up on that. And also like and subscribe and join the tribe. Let's get into it. Universe, what does the collective, whoever's watching this right now, need to know? What is coming in for them? What is the energy? Woo! So many want to fling out. These came out, but I feel like there's a lot more that the universe wants to let you know. Whoa. The fact that they're like jumping out. Look at this. You have a lot that needs to be told. Wow. First and foremost, there was a tower moment. What did I tell you? It feels like a lot of cleansing is happening, okay? The tower, catastrophe, accident, things happening very quickly at lightning pace. And it doesn't have to be catastrophic for you. It's not at all. It's maybe for like, let's say if it's in like politics, it would be one side versus the other. Everyone's cleaning house, a new administration coming in. So do you see how it's just like there's a deep kind of removal all the way down. Usually figureheads are kind of erased from the zeitgeist, but usually that doesn't do enough, okay? So let's say you're at or you're just not spending money on something junk anymore. For example, maybe there's a lot of toxic qualities in the foods, and you're like, okay, where is the origin of this country? Where is it manufactured? Where is it brought? When is it brought to your country? All of that. And you're like, oh wow, there's always lead poisoning in this, or there's something toxic. You are like, I'm gonna find out who the parent company is of this child company. You're finding like, what is the chain of command? Who was the CEO? What is the board of directors? Like, what do they have ties to? And you'll see a lot of like junk food, for example, things they used to work at, like drugs and stuff like that. So it's like a little circle. They're trying to poison people and help them at the same time. The entire populace is about to wake up about how deep, nitty gritty, like how deep in the hidden like cells of like the whole thing just needs to be torn down. It's a new era, okay? And you're like, okay, I'm finding solace in my hobbies, in my greatness. This is a great time for building your body. Like, you're just like, okay, what types of foods or energy, non-toxic everything. 3 of Pentacles, improvements underway, but delays around it. Renowned glory, place of worship. And it's like the place of worship for you is like your body's a temple. There's an area in your room or your office where you need to like clean it up a little, like all from scratch. Like, make sure you're getting things that don't cause, like illness, diseases. You're like, you know what, let me just like eliminate those things and start from scratch. Maybe you're gonna go to farmers markets, maybe you're gonna go thrifting and make sure you buy like things that really resonate with you and make you feel more powerful, more luxurious, whatever it is. Page of Swords, young woman to 25 years, spying or deception, reflecting back over your shoulder. Yeah, you're realizing, wow, this had to go. This whole like building this tower moment was like a cleanse. You found out, okay, you know what? I actually believe in X, Y, and Z, and I actually think I can support people who believe that as well. Or actually, you didn't realize there were like, covert affairs happening year after year. And you're like, wow, was I propagandized? Was I not? Depends on how in the pendulum of like awareness you are. For example, if you if you Google, what is it, like Operation Ajax or something, where you find out, wow, governments are installed and it can change things for decades and decades and decades. And it's always like, it points differently to be like, who was in your government to not tell you about that? Who was this to make like the bad guys are seeming kind of innocent now, or like the good guys are seeming, whoa, diabolical. So it seems 9 of Cups, improvements underway, feeling smug or pleased. Yeah, you're like realizing there is a faction deep down, like there's a very, very bad era, or like, you know, the companies you were supporting were very pro military industrial complex, and you're like, you know what, maybe that's the root of it all. The root is being torn away. Because in the past, the CEOs of like these greenwashing companies would be like, yeah, we fixed it, it's all healed, okay, we got it. And then they would like use outsourced labor, give them a horrible lifestyle, and then all of a sudden, boom, it would be poisonous again. And then they would change out the CEO or like whatever the figurehead is. People are learning to peel back from like, okay, the figurehead CEO is meant to be fired. Who's on the board of directors? Where did the board of directors sit on their day job? And what other companies did they have, since they love to brag about everywhere they've gone? Turns out you're going to find out it's like 1%. So you're going to start pouring money into your own community. That could be like nearby regenerative farms. That could be you learning how to garden. This could be you learning how to sew, how to like make your own fashion statements with thrifting. Thrifting is going to go up as people are refusing to buy things overseas. So it seems like everybody is okay with putting poison into, let's say if you're American, they're okay. Every country is okay pouring poison into you by means of what you're eating, doing, whatever. And your own government is bought out by like lobbyists. You know, the 2010 case, Supreme Court case, Citizens United, actually defined corporations as people, persons. Okay, Google that. Okay, it's called the Citizens United case. So basically, the U.S. is having like a grand awakening, and Nine of Cups, improvements underway, feeling smug or pleased. You are going to make so much money coming in because maybe you have a small business. Maybe you're local. You're like, you know what? Your friends are going to start pouring into you, as opposed to like until people figure out which corporations aren't trying to poison them or whatever, or like, fund wars and genocides overseas. Now it's like, okay, community, the power of community is coming back. And then also a lot of corporate media is being like left behind. A lot of celebrity is being left behind. People are going to still enjoy stuff like that, but people are not listening to people who are puppets for those corporations, who use celebrities or mainstream media and stuff like that. So you're like, wow, if that means I have to go back, because maybe you didn't know and like you weren't watching before that, like, oh, okay, the people were gaslighting you. You were like shocked. If you were shocked the new president was coming in, you were not paying attention, or you were paying attention to the wrong crowds, the wrong people who were trying to give you propaganda, self-serving prophecies. And so instead, there's mass like unfollowings or mass like whatever, like the numbers of corporate media has gone down so drastically, or people who were telling you the wrong thing, they usually had ties to mainstream media. And because of that, you're like side-eyeing anybody who is in denial. And you're like, you know what? I need to go into hermit mode, loneliness, unattached, soul-searching, time needed or time alone, to really feel like, what are these people? They're all fighting over me, the citizen or whatever, to like improve or impress you the most. Now, whether this is like also your own relationships in your circles, you're realizing, you know what? I get it. I now objectively looking away, you're realizing, oh, this is something we had to leave behind. I have to leave behind just looking at one source. Do not go into echo chambers where you hear what you want to hear and everybody kind of echoes it up. You got to listen to like left, right, center, top, bottom, side to side. Like you got to listen to everybody's mindset before you make a decision, because you never know. Some people that were saying everything was a conspiracy, they were right. They weren't right. The conspiracies were right. So it's up to you to be like, whoa, some people might have more knowledge about something. Like if I'm going to listen to the farmers, I'm not going to listen to the ones who don't do regenerative farming. Maybe I'm going to go look at the ones that like media for the last couple years has told you to not listen to. Or, there is a very classist divide happening where people are like fighting over like, well, they were dumb anyway. Of course they'd vote XYZ or blah, blah, blah. That's not a way to do it. That's not unifying anybody. There was a rise in populism, five of wands, arguments, battles around you. And you're like, well, I'm good. I'm going to win regardless. And it's funny because you're getting so much elevation in this era if you just like ease into it. Or if you already knew what side was going to win, even better. You're ahead of the game. This is beautiful timing for you, especially. Judgment, decisions pending finality, the only decision that can be made under the circumstances. So you might be like, look, the people who are on the losing party or the losing side are becoming extra paranoid, weird, whatever. But that's like the media telling you that. Most of the people are normal, okay? Like on every side, everyone's normal. So people who are taking things too serious or trying, like going insane or having meltdowns, those are the people you need to like, what did they say in the past? Can I trust them ever again? Probably not. But even a broke clock is right, twice a day, right? So you are basically having like your aha moment. And if you already knew that like Trump would be president, you are having a grand time because guess what? You knew it. You listened to our channel. You knew there was a huge like backing of just seeing new like shift. There's populism. And because of that, your love life is also going to be different. Look at this. You're going to be in your Empress era. This is delays will prove necessary. You're stacking so much money in the next couple of weeks without being political, with being partisan, whatever it is. You're like, oh, okay, I'm not affected either way. I am, but I'm not going to let that bother me or make me too cocky. Instead, you're like, okay, let the riches roll in. Let me get that princess energy. Let's see who's coming into your life. I mean, this is showing that you're moving away from like exes that are kind of like weird or like people you don't feel comfortable sharing your opinions with. You're like, you know what? Noted. Those people are losing their minds. I'm good. Or you're just like, I'm just going to be normal and talk about hobbies. Do like, if you go to a hobby class or language classes or, you're just trying to globetrot and chill. You are leaving the sore backs away, okay? The 10 of Swords. Death or ending of a situation or relationship. Yeah, you're cutting off whoever is like delulu in a way. And you're just like, you're not cutting off just because of their politics, just because of their anything. You're staying away from people who would have cut you off anyway because they're so delusional. But like, if anything, this is more like an ex that is kind of weird or their true colors came out. But other than that, you're making the most friends you've ever made in your life in the next couple months, years. This is about to be your own personal renaissance. The skills you had and the skills you're making are about to flourish. People are going to pour money into you because they're like, you know what, this is, made in America, let's say, or like you're giving a service, you're doing nails, you're doing, art, you're doing whatever, all of a sudden people from every side just want to be like, take my money, and you're like, okay, because this is literally both sides of the aisle really like you heavy, like they really 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 love your aura. This is like you might be the big unifier, and it's all going to be because you're hobby oriented, you're passionate about your work, and you're not into like corporate like pleasantries or privilege or like you're not downplaying someone for being in a certain job field or kind of putting anybody on a pedestal. You're having the best of both worlds and balancing, and you're moving, you're a change agent. The Chariot, movements of resonance, journey, victory over a situation or problem, balancing the opposite polarities. Exactly. You're like, I am literally it's kind of like that song, I'm every woman. You're literally like every woman. You can see a little bit of everyone's whatever, or every guy. You can see where people are coming from, and you're not biased. You're not like the people who are melting down because they got the wrong impression, or they got mad because they couldn't control the populace anymore. There's a lot more normal people than there are fringe. And look at this. Love is coming in for you. The old crusty love, anybody who wanted to cut you off or anything, it is what it is. But The Eight of Wands, speedy news or situation coming, arrows of love, the way that you're going to be wrapped in money, love, attention, affection, and growth is so beautiful. Congratulations in advance. Definitely claim this. And let's see what else is coming in for you. What should you look out for? Like, what is generally going to happen for the collective? The collective is shifting into more like, you know what, self-sustaining, learning where your own community lies. Like freedom of speech, freedom to be who you are. And look at this. There's a lot of blame from the losing side. I accept responsibility for my well-being. You're like, I'm not blaming anybody for whatever happens. I'm not going to worry about what happens going forward that is out of your control. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Exactly. So let's say you were on the side that didn't win the election. That doesn't matter. You're still gonna win. You're gonna find a community, and you're also gonna start zooming out and being like, oh my goodness, I was really gaslit to believe that like this is what's happening. I didn't realize there wasn't this much hate. It was just there was a lot of things going on and different moving parts, and the people that were fear-mongering got into your ear. And you're like, you know what? That's not it. Anybody who blames other people for what is wrong with their life are not taking ownership. And you're like, this is freedom. It's sovereignty. This is you having, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Exactly. If your happiness looks like you and your community is growing and happy and safe and protected, then put that into the universe instead of, I don't want it to be like this. It's probably their side, blah, blah, blue. You're not doing any of that. You're like so zen that you're like, well, duh, like most of the country agrees that freedom is the way to go, and not to be like, the deep rot of like the government hasn't been installed. Like there needs to be shuffling every once in a while. Unpredictability is very key to maintaining your freedom, your sovereignty, because just listening and going lockstep with what the main narrative propaganda machines are, you're going to be living in 1984 Orwellian ideas. Purpose, I know what I'm here to do. You are a change agent in a great way. Whatever you're great at, like whether it's cooking, whether it's like making content, whether it's being an accountant, whether it's being an artist, your purpose is going to flourish here, and it's going to make you so much money, because guess what? People are looking for you now. They're looking to get away from the mass establishment, whether that's companies that, made super PACs and fed the government, or whatever. You're like, you know what? It was a battle of the billionaires for sure. And you as the people, unless you're a billionaire watching this, the best you could do is not worry about that, but also face your front and focus on your own happiness. Write out exactly what you want. This is the time to script and be like, whoa, if this is about to be the golden era of making money and power and respect and like just having fun and making a bigger community than you ever realized, like a return to normalcy, and the fringe kind of gets like drowned out in a way, then you are like, well, then what would I want? This is fantastic if you phrase it like that. You know what I mean? And then let's see, universe, what else does the collective need to know? What else does the collective, and change takes time, right? So you're going to see things you like, you don't like in your government, but that doesn't matter. Estate planning, ooh, maybe you finally want to own some real estate, or you have some and you're like, you know what, I need to elevate the planning version of it. Maybe it's just like pen to pad and write out exactly, I want a 4-bedroom house that does XYZ. I want this much land for my own garden. I want to be in a community where I can, go to farmers markets and blah, 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 like whatever you want, estate plan. And then also, universe, what else does the collective need to know? What other tea leaf messages? Oop. Wow, did you read the fine print? Period. This is literally you reading the fine print. For example, there was like a bunch of apps that people have in the fine print. It says, hey, we want to use your bio informatics. We want to use your face. We want to use, you know, if they do like facial recognition, AI, whatever you're typing, they want to use all your data, your information, your socials, your age, your whatever, to make money off of that. And then they sell it in bulk. Like a lot of things. Did you read the fine print? You're going forward, read the fine print. That says there's toxins in here and it wasn't really tested and blah blah blue. Like, just finally start reading the fine print. There was like a case where there was an app and they signed up for the app. It was like a TV app, but at the actual amusement park, they it was connected somehow and they lost a case even after losing their life. They were like, oh, but you signed up for this free trial a month ago. Do not let that happen. Learn arbitration clauses, the actual like litigation. Like, what are you signing up for real, before you go to somewhere else? Protect yourself and know your rights, because corporations and conglomerates are not happy right now, and they do not like that they're not like, you know, listened to religiously anymore. There's a shift to free thinking and like, you know, a rise of different it's kind of like the freedom to think marketplace, right? So all of that changing is important to you, because there's going to add different things to the fine print or the legalese or whatever. So always Google, and don't even just Google. Google is also owned by the conglomerates and like 2 or 3 different people, and they're on the warmonger side. So just Google, and whatever Google is, use other Bing, DuckDuckGo, whatever it is, just search. Open your eyes, go touch grass, go see what's out there, because once you do the research, use that as your starting point and then keep digging, right? And then universe, what is the tea leaf message of the day? Ooh, okay, we got red raspberry, obviously. We have, it says unlock the freshness and enjoy. Yeah, it's new. Everything's new. You should feel fresh and like rejuvenated. And the red raspberry acts like a pucker that like, oh wow, it's a little sour, but then boom, the sweetness comes in. You can add sugar to taste. This is you taking control of this. Obviously, do not drink this if you're allergic, but no caffeine, pretty zen. Tangy and sweet taste of farm fresh raspberries, caffeine free, all natural. Keyword, go find a natural herbal like food and whatever. And obviously you already know most of these herbal things are not regulated by the FDA. And if they are, the FDA has been dropping the ball so much that like at this point you're like, you know, is there pesticides? Is there XYZ? Go do your research, go find something, and always see if there's like drug interactions, obviously. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.